Hey y'all, and welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach, and today we are doing a barn chat. So barn chats are what we like to get kind of personal, just talk about some candid stuff, be really open, some things that we're passionate about. I will do a disclaimer. If you're not into that and you're just wanting to see things be done, this probably isn't going to be a video for you. It's going to be a lot of me kind of talking, but I'm talking about some current events that are happening that weigh heavy on my chest, and it's more about the American people, and I want to talk about it, and I want to be open and honest and candid. I do want you to understand these are just my opinions and reflect only the opinions of myself. I'm not trying to act like it's right, wrong, anything like that. I'm just giving you my opinion on some of the matters that hopefully maybe help. If anything, I like to leave people feeling motivated after these videos, and so that's always my goal. And we'll see if that works out or not, but hold on tight, we got a wild one. So earlier in this year, we've shot a lot of videos, and almost in every one of those videos was like, y'all, it's an election year, it's gonna get wild. It's gonna get wild, and at that time, everybody's like, nah, it's cool, I get it. They're gonna start throwing some crazy stuff at us. But as it continues to get closer to November, it's getting crazier and crazier. They're throwing all kinds of stuff at us, and we're starting to just fall back into that realm. We're starting to just fall for it. We're starting to just be part of it, engulfing ourselves in it again, getting distracted, and doing exactly what the politicians, want us to do. Remember how you felt earlier in the year. Don't revert back to how we were every election year. We need to stop doing that. That's where we get distracted. That's where they're able to basically control us to do whatever they want us to do. Be strong. Quit allowing yourself to be engulfed in their distractions. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's been coming up. Obviously, first off, Trump's assassination attempt. That was terrifying and scary. The fact that any human being could either do it on their own or could be convinced to do that. We have some serious mental health issues going on in this country, and we all already know that. But that was terrifying. I'm glad that he survived. I'm glad that everything's okay. But that is a big statement for this country. Whichever way you want to look at it, you have to look at every single angle with this situation. If he was on his own, right? If this was completely on his own and had the mindset to do that, that's terrifying. That way you've gotten to the point to where assassinations are something that you really have to be concerned about. Two, if it was a political party that put him up to this in some form or fashion, that's terrifying as well. I'm not just talking Democratic, I'm talking any. There's one thing that you have to understand and remember. If you're whichever side that you lean on, sometimes the things that are done to a political party are done to them by the political party. Am I saying Republicans set that up for an assassination against Trump? I absolutely am not. What I'm getting at, though, is we can't just look at one side. You have to look at all angles of a situation and make your best determination, or just stay out of it completely. But we have to remember that the one goal of the RNC and the DNC, the national committees, is to get their person elected. And at this time, it's whatever it takes, right? Like it wouldn't surprise me. There are no lines that I don't think either committee would not cross to get their person elected. And that is the terrifying factor. Anything. I literally think it would be anything. We fight and yell for honest and truth election, and I don't think we've had one in many years. Basically, it seems like whoever is the winner cheated the best, right? Like, let's be honest. I don't care what side you're on. If you're getting elected, you're not doing it the straight and narrow. There is something happening to help get you to that next level, to help get you elected. And that's my honest to God opinion. So that was obviously a big one. One thing I did like, and it came on both sides that I was seeing, is that there was definitely some people that had some crazy comments wishing that they were more successful, and that just is insane to me. Those people deserve to be fired from their jobs. Karma is so like that's awful. But it did seem like for the most part, nobody wanted that to happen when it came to U.S. citizens and across the world, and that we were kind of coming together for prayers and hope that Trump would make it okay. So we moved on from that one, right? Then we get to the RNC, the actual committee meeting where they're going to put Trump as the Republican Party And he announces that J.D. Vance is going to be his running mate, his vice president running mate. And then here comes another stare. Like, it's like anything that it comes up, it's immediate. People just attack mode. Go attack. Well, I didn't know much about J.D. Vance, but now I do. I know a lot, and I think J.D. Vance is great. And this is coming from someone that is sitting in the heart of Appalachia in southeast Kentucky, very close to where his family grew up. And I think that's one thing that drives me crazy. First off, I've never heard that man say that he was from Kentucky whatsoever. He said his family was from Kentucky. If you've read the book or you watched the movie, both are fantastic, by the way. That's laid out very well. Then I see the Kentucky governor, old Andy Beshear, come out and say that J.D. Vance called Eastern Kentuckians lazy, and Beshear says, well, he ain't from Kentucky, and I guess Beshear is implying that he is Kentuckian. Well, I have many thoughts about that. So Kentucky, if you're not from here, Jen and I always say Kentucky's 3 different states. Western Kentucky is more farmland. It's more flat. That's where a lot of our farming comes from. Unfortunately, that's where a lot of the tornadoes come through because it's still kind of in that tornado alley area. It's very resemblance of kind of the Midwest. It's very flat and farmland. Great country, but that's a different part. Central Kentucky, which is where we used to be from. We lived in Frankfort, which is the capital of Kentucky. It's smack dab in the middle of Lexington and Louisville. These are the 3 cities that most people know. Really, Frankfort's not even on the radar. It's mainly Lexington and Louisville. That is bourbon and horse country and politic crazy. That is where the politicians are. That's where the money is. All of that is kind of done in those 3 cities. So like when we have a Democratic governor, that's usually because of those 3 cities. That's where the blue part is, and that's its whole state in itself. It's a beautiful area. If you want horses, bourbon, and want to dab in a little bit of politics, that's your place. Then you have eastern and southeastern Kentucky. That's Appalachia. That's where the mountains are. Everybody talks different here. So the rest of Kentucky is y'all. Here it's yuns, which is more mountain talk, more Appalachian talk. It's a kind of a whole different civilization than the rest of Kentucky. So first off, for Beshear to act like he knows anything about this area and act like he's done anything for Appalachia, he's the liar. He's the one that is not from Kentucky. I can't stand that he said that. He's just trying to get a political point to be the vice president for Kamala. That was all that was a jab. But I want everybody to know that that man does not represent, Beshear does not represent Appalachia. And also, in anything that I saw, I never saw that really J.D. Vance expressed that his area of Ohio is Appalachia. Even though there is Appalachia that runs through Ohio, he was talking about his family. He was talking about coming here and how he loved it here and didn't want to leave. He loved the community, he loved the people, and he loved how the environment was here. But let me give you some hard truths about Appalachia. Appalachia is poor. Appalachia does struggle with eating well because we don't have the opportunities or the options to have healthy eating places because the populations are low. So these, kind of new and upcoming restaurants and grocery stores and stuff like that, they're not coming here. But that's okay because a lot of Appalachia hunts, traps, grows their own food. They do those things. But there is a lot of negative that is happening in these mountains. Like, don't get it twisted. It's not all butterflies and rainbows around here. There's some hollers you don't go down because you might not come back out of them. And I know that sounds silly and it feels like folklore, but it's reality. And I can tell you one thing, Beshear noticed nothing about that. That one I was a little passionate about because it really hit at home when I was kind of seeing this stuff come out. J.D. Vance's story is great. I don't think that he portrayed Appalachia in an incorrect way at all. Like, if you think that he did, then you haven't been here. And don't compare southeast and eastern Kentucky Appalachia to, say, the Pennsylvania Appalachia. You gotta remember that Appalachia range is a long way, so you might be from the North Appalachia and do things a little bit different than we do here. And that's okay. But don't act like what he said was wrong if you've never been here or lived here for any amount of time. It's an amazing place. It's probably the most beautiful place on this planet to be in the Appalachian Mountains, but it's not always pretty when it comes to the human interaction and how some humans are in this area. And then the third fun and wild distraction that's happened this week is with Biden, right? So we don't know, y'all. It came out with COVID, and now there's reports saying that he actually had a serious medical condition. There's actually a really funny TikTok. If y'all remember the Toy Story episode where Woody's got like Buzz's hand and he's like holding it from the other side of the wall. He's like trying to act like Buzz is fine. And then he pops out and he's actually just got his arm, and the other group freak out. That reminded me of the whole phone call and everything, and like not seeing Biden publicly at all since all this has happened. We got something going on there. There is definitely something that's happening that we're not being told. I also remember earlier in the week, before he announced on Sunday, whoever announced it, him or somebody, when they announced on, they said that he will be out by Sunday. And then you get Sunday comes and yeah, he drops out of the race. And then everybody's like, well, he was still on the fence of it as of last night. No, this was already planned, already determined. It's all been part of the plan. Everything's part of the plan. Nothing is being done accidental. Nothing is being done impromptu. This is, I mean, like, to win a presidential election, you basically have to play out your game plan like you're a head coach for a sporting team, to say this is exactly our attack. This is how we're gonna roll with it. And then you also have to have area to, like, for defense, right? So you know that the other side is gonna throw you challenges. So you already have a lineup of things that you're gonna plan to do for rebuttals. This isn't something that you're just flying off the seat of your pants. This isn't things like that. The whole, like, last year and a half, 2 years has been planned out by each political side. They know exactly what they're gonna do. They know exactly the games they're gonna play to try to give themselves the upper hand, and that is what's happening. So don't sit back and just be like, this is such freak accidents. It's not. There's agendas, there are plans, and it is working to a T, because now all of us are back to posting on Facebook, fighting each other, that drawing the lines. Like, I don't feel like we were that divided just a few months ago. But now it's like we're back. It's like, here it goes. Here it goes. Here comes the memes. Here comes the shots at each other. You know what's funny? I haven't even seen that many political ads this year. I'm sure it's about to ramp up. But we are allowing that political ads to happen amongst friends. Don't do it. I think the last time we had it this bad was Trump and Hillary. When Trump and Hillary were running against each other, that is when it was, I mean, it was bad. Like, America was fighting each other over these two. And now it's already starting. Now that Kamala is, well, she's not even yet, but that she's been endorsed by Biden to be the next presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. Slow down. Take a breath. Realize the bigger picture. Realize that you're doing exactly what they had planned for you to do. We always say question everything, right? Question it. Question everything. Since all of this stuff's being on, everybody's opening their eyes. Question everything. Don't stop now. Don't stop now. Try to see people for who they are. Try to see the plan for what it is, and make your own decisions. Don't start getting in these ridiculous battles on social media where you know neither one of you are going to win. You already have your minds made up. There's nothing that's going to happen to change each other's mind. So let it go. Go on November, vote, make your opinion, your voice be heard, and be done with it. Quit consuming your lives with trying to convince others that the person you want to win is better. You can look at any politician and find bad, and I'll say a little good, but mainly bad, right? What are they doing for you? What are these politicians doing for you? Not much, if anything, besides taking more money out of your pockets. We're engulfing ourselves into something that we are getting no reward for. Let's stop doing that. And here's the thing, folks. I'm not telling you to not be aware. As you can tell, I've kept up with what's been going on. Get the highlights. Deep dive a little bit on your own. You don't have to go spread it to everyone else. You can try to, like, say, I saw this, I read this, and this and that, but don't just post memes after memes, pointing fingers at the other side, because it's getting us nowhere. It's absolutely pointless. All you're doing is solidifying who you like and building a group of friends that like them too. But you were friends with the other people before this year. Let it go. You don't have to do it. Just maybe resist hitting that post button and moving on to something else that's gonna be better for your life. Something else that's more important for your life. Maybe before you hit that post, go do something with your kids or your grandkids. Or call your mama that you haven't talked to in a while. Do something like that. Change your mind. Because the plan's already set. If you don't think that it's already set out and November is still in question, in my opinion, that's crazy. Let it go. Pay attention. And then go put your vote in November and we'll see what happens. Right? That's all we can do. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. And it's so important to just realize that. The only thing I care about, honest to God, is my taxes. Who's screwing me harder on the taxes? I want to vote for whoever's going to screw me less. It's the primary thing. That doesn't mean I don't care about people. That doesn't mean that I won't treat every single person with 100% respect, because the political party that gets in office can do nothing but change laws. They have no power or control to change the way people treat each other. That's on you. That's on me. So if it's anything to do with human rights, that's a law. But the way you and I treat another person, that's on us. Don't be like them. Be a good-hearted American. If you're watching this outside America, I'm sure a lot of this relates to any kind of political thing that you have going on. It's all about being good people. Respectful and good. I still believe that most people are good. Let's start proving it.